This is practice exercise 14. I'm going to do this one in Java. We want to remove spaces from a string. So given some string, we want to remove any spaces that happen to be inside it. So let's look at an example. If the string S is geek with spaces between the letters, the output should be geek with no spaces. So we simply remove all these spaces that are inside here. Another one is S is we start with a space. This space is several spaces, a space with more space or more spaces, test, and then end with the space. So all of that should go away and it should just be this is a test. So one straight string that has no spaces in it whatsoever. So that's the idea of this one. Let's go ahead and get this set up in Java. I'm going to use Maven for this. You're welcome to use Gradle or one of the other build frameworks. I'm going to use Java. So we'll do Control-Shift-P, Maven, new project. And I'm going to do this as a quick start because we're just going to do this as either a class library or a console app. So quick start definitely helps with that. Latest version, this will be com.lucentary academy.practice exercises.remove spaces. I'm going to copy remove spaces, paste that in for the artifact ID, choose my folder. So this is going to be C code delete me, trust and continue. Not worried about a Git repo. Excellent. So there's version number and confirm. And yes, I want to open that. All right, excellent. So now I'm going to go ahead and copy the MD file over so that we have it available. No, I don't want to take your silly survey. All right, so we've got remove spaces. Here's our MD. Here's our project. Let's make sure this is all working. It's Java activating. So go ahead and navigate in. I'm going to look at the test. All right, let's clean this up a little bit. All right, so it's using an older version. Let's head into the POM file. This is, I think I've got, let's see, I've got JRE21. Yours may be different. If you look at the warnings here, it'll say JRE and whatever your version number. It might be 23 or 24, whatever that is. Mine happens to be 21, so I'm just going to change these two values to 21. And then always make sure to synchronize the configuration class path. And that sets us up and ready to be going. All right, so I'm going to get rid of these comments. Let's format and let's convert to tabs. All right, that looks much, much better. So here's our test. Let's rename this. This will be remove spaces test and let that refactor. This will be example 1. Now let's head back in. So example 1, we're going to start with S equals geek. So let's create that. There we go. And now the expected is going to be just geek. So we'll say var expected equals geek. I figured it out. Very clever. So from here, we need to create some object that is going to evaluate this and remove those spaces. So this is a thing. This object, this class is a thing that trims spaces, removes spaces. So it takes a string and gets rid of spaces. So it's a, what is that? It's a string manipulator. It's a string transformer. Any of these might be good. Let's call it a manipulator. Equals new string manipulator. I don't know if that's a good name or not. It seems reasonable to me. String transformer might be okay as well. So it would transform a string from one form to another. It could be an evaluator. There's lots of different things you could do, but I'll just call this one a manipulator. And then we'll say var result equals manipulator.remove spaces. So we'll say go to the manipulator and remove the spaces from S. And then finally, we will simply assert equals that expected is actual. No, not assume no. Actual. Oh, I'm sorry, I called it result. That's why it's not liking it. All right, let's turn this into a star import. All right, that looks pretty good. So there's our example 1. So we've got our S, we've got our expected, we've got our actual functionality, and then assert equals. Let's go ahead and create example 2, and then we will create the actual class. So example 2, in this case, the value is going to be this entire string. So copy all of that, including the quotes. The value itself is going to be just this is a test, no strings. Everything else is the same. So I think we're pretty good here. All right, the tests are not going to be able to run because we've got red. In fact, it won't even build, it won't compile. So I can't run the test, that's going to fail. Let's go ahead and create just enough of this to get this to have the test run so we can get to the assertion error, and then I will turn you loose. We'll create a class called string manipulator. I'm going to copy that to my clipboard, and I'm just going to repurpose the app.java class. We're not going to run this as a console, so we'll leave this as a project, a class library project, shareable package. So in that case, we're just going to get rid of this class. So I'll just rename it. And let's clean this up a little bit. Get rid of the comments, get rid of the public static void main, and convert to tabs. That looks good. All right, so there's our string manipulator class. It was able to evaluate that. Now remove spaces, I'm going to let it do this for me. So control period on that and enter, and it's going to create that method. So here's our auto-generated stub. Again, convert back to tabs. All right, so there's our remove method, or remove spaces. So this actually needs to return a string. So I'm going to go ahead and change that so that this looks a little bit better. And then finally here, we need to do something. I'm going to return null for a moment, just to get it to not throw an exception. I want it to actually get to the assertion. So now let's go ahead and run our tests. Let's run all. Yes, that's fine. All right, so they do fail, but they're failing on the assertion. We are getting an assertion error, which is exactly what we were hoping for. So at this point, everything is set up. You are ready to get going on this and getting it working. So your job in the string manipulator is now to implement the functionality. You're going to take the string S, figure out how you remove the spaces, and return that final value out. Once you do that, the test should pass. Good luck.